I get asked this question a lot. How do you create effective overloads? Well, good news for you, FM21 has a new match engine. And along with that, improvements to how the focus play instructions work on giving you that control over overloads. That's coming up. My name is Daljit. Welcome to the show. If you like the show, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. And if you want to ask me any questions, you can always pop in during one of these live streams that I do. I try and do them as often as I can. And follow me on Twitter so you are notified whenever I go live. I do stream on Twitch once a week on Sundays. Now, if you have any questions, don't forget, you can ask those questions during the live stream. And I sometimes even change tactics around just to explain concepts for you. So here we go with the show. What are focus play instructions? Are they anything new? Well, in FM20, they performed in a way that wasn't very efficient as far as I was concerned. So I hardly ever recommended them, except when you were trying to get someone sent off. It's the only time I go, use the focus play instruction, focus all your runs in that direction so that you put a lot of pressure on that flank. And that is exactly what focus play used to do in FM20. It used to focus the runs. Now, it wasn't exactly the best way of playing the game, because you would think that when you go focus play, that's exactly what you're doing, right? You're focusing your play, but it wasn't working. I think as I felt that it needed a change, and they've changed how it works in FM21. How does focus play now work? Focus play now tells your team to focus its passing in that area. So if you focus play down through the middle, you're telling your team, hey guys, we want you to focus your passing in the middle, and along the way, by the way, come a bit closer together. So what you will often see when you set a focus instruction is you will see midfielders as well, players shifting to support the focus, and this has been a fantastic change to the match engine. It's probably one of the biggest changes because it makes it a lot more easier for people now to go ahead and create overlaps. Back in FM20, I got so many questions from you guys about overloads. It was so confusing. I feel your pain. FM21 is going to be different. FM21 will let you create overloads a lot more effectively because of the focus play instructions. Since those players now come to support the play, they shift, they help you create the overload. And this is significant. In FM20, we needed to juggle roles and duties around just to get that to happen. In FM21, it does help if you know your roles and duties really well. Then you can create even better and effective overloads. It's a fantastic change, and I'm going to try and explain certain things about these focus play instructions. Every time you set a focus play, you're going to have the option of choosing focus play to the middle, focus play down the flank, or focus play down the right. Now, this bears some thought because while it does help players, pass the ball within those areas, you also need to consider the opposition you're playing against, because the opposition plays two DMs in their formation. Then if you focus play to the middle, you're actually playing into their hands because you are trying to concentrate your passing in an area where they are going to be solid defensively. So sometimes you want to be thinking about focus play as something that you might even consider switching in the middle of a game. You could face with a DM based system, you look at your tactic and you go, maybe I'm going to focus play down the flanks. Now, the option of switching your formation around, or rather, changing the focus of your attacks, is going to give you a lot of tactical flexibility in FM21. I find that this is one of the best changes they've made into the game. And it works hand in hand with other instructions in the game, including width. Because if you remember very carefully, width is an instruction. When you go to the game and you look at width, you've got several settings for width. You've got narrow, you've got standard, and you've got wide. Basically, these are the three. Right. Whenever you tell a team to play narrow, you're basically telling them to come closer and then look inside for their passes, because that's exactly what it says on the tin. And then when you tell them to go wide, players are positioned a bit further from each other, and you need longer passes, and they're going to look towards the flanks for most of their passing options. With focus play, you can enhance this effect. So if I wanted to focus play to the middle and I decided, hey, I'm gonna really squeeze things in the middle right now, you could do that as well. Imagine the havoc you could create against a system that wasn't playing with the DM, that had midfielders who were not comfortable tackling or had low bravery. So if you took the game right through the middle, you're taking it actually into their weakest area. You're controlling the center. You're going to create a lot of havoc. You'll be able to pull defenders in and out of position. So this is something that people need to consider whenever they are setting up their focus instructions. Whenever you set focus up, just think about it this way. Think about your tactic, the formation that you're playing against, and how you can use focus play a lot more effectively. The concept of half space control isn't new, right? There are quite a number of managers who use this. In fact, there are like small six-a-side passing setups that clubs do, where they encourage players to play in confined areas so that they are very comfortable passing the ball in, smaller spaces, so they get better with their technique. And now I've got it set up in such a way that I have two ball playing defenders, two inverted wing backs. They're just gonna come in here. We're doing our consolidation phase. I got these two guys jumping forward really early, and I've got one defend duty and one roaming playmaker. It's a very risky formation. Here we have a game against Inter Milan, and our tactic is set up with narrow width. We're going to be focusing play through the middle. Now, when this happens, what you're going to notice is the ball is going to be, players are going to come a bit more closer. The midfielders will shift a bit inside, and they will support your transitions as you attempt to bring the ball forward, or if you're in front of the opposition goal, you see that as well. Okay, so when you play focus play to the middle, you see your midfielders shifting closer. As you can see, they're all shifting closer to support the transition because you're focusing play to the middle. And we're also emphasizing this with our narrow width, because the players are now positioned closer because of the width. And you kind of enhance the effect, because when you play on narrow width, you're telling your team, hey, I want you to look inside for your priority, for your passes. It's a priority. So when they get an option, they go there, then he will play back there, and they'll go back inside. They come in to support the play. As you can see, the players are getting more and more congested in the area. But if your team is really good at first touch passing off the ball, you can create all kinds of havoc, especially if the opposition is not playing with the defensive midfielder. So the thing here is that you got to be thinking about your roles, your duties, and sometimes even your tempo, in order for you to set up a system where you can take advantage of your own focus play, because we are trying to overload the middle. Now, what happens in some matches is they play with the defensive midfielder. So if you go in there and you go like, oh, I want to focus play to the middle, and they've got two defensive midfielders, then that strategy obviously will not be a very sound one. So you got to be looking at the formation that you're playing against as well when you're considering your focus play instructions. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to change my focus play, because we've been playing through the middle, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do with my tactic is I'm going to focus play to the flanks. We're going to use a bit more, and I'm going to enhance this even more by playing slightly wide. I'm not going to go all the way because we're not that good. And I am going to raise my tempo slightly. And yeah, I'm going to leave it like this. And we hope, because we hope we do okay. The key thing to remember when you're focusing play down the flanks is your players are going to shift closer to where the action is. So if you're focusing play down one flank, they will shift. Central midfielders will move slightly to support the play. So we have a play now, he's got a ball. Players are coming closer to him. You can see everyone shifting closer to the flanks to support his play, right? Everybody's gone towards the left flank, right? And now we're getting all these overloads happening in this area. Overloads are like when you have overloads of players, right? You got more players than the opposition have in that area. The whole idea behind an overload is so that you can release a player on the other flank, right? Or release a player through the middle. So we got all these overloads happening here. So whenever you consider the use of focus play, you need to consider as well, what you're going to do with this, right? I mean, if you're going to focus play somewhere, you obviously creating a situation where you have more of your players in one area. Okay, so if you don't go in and go, okay, I put all my players here, what am I going to do now? You got to try and score a goal, and you got to try and get somebody free somewhere. So when you play focus play to the middle, sometimes you need like roles to help you hook the movement around them, so that players are running off these guys, right? And then sometimes when you play focus play on the flanks, you might be focusing play on one flank, and then you have an attack duty like a Ramdauto or inside forward coming on the other sides. And you might want to consider using a playmaker of sorts on one side of the flank. Focus play can be a really fun instruction if you take a step back and you think about it. And it's actually one of the best changes I found in the match engine for FM tuning. I'm rating this as the best thing that I've seen happen in a heck of a long time, because it makes creating overload so easy for you guys. I mean, I'm going to do an overloads video for you very soon, right? I'm going to show you examples of how I do overloads. I'm not suggesting that you have to play like this, but it's kind of fun when you can, like, you know, it's this little game that I play with the AI, which is I'm gonna see how well I can sucker the AI into coming to one side of the pitch and unlocking the door on the other. Right? So it's fun. I love these kind of things. And I'm enjoying myself a lot on FM Tuning On because I get a chance to do all this. I mean, yes, there are certain parts of the UI that aren't I feel a bit, you know, iffy about. I seriously consider this to be the best match engine in a long time. I can't remember another match engine that's gotten me so excited. There are going to be challenges making your overloads work. I will be very honest with you. You're going to get the overloads working, but it's taking advantage of the overloads that most people will struggle with. They'll have created the overloads and they're going to, how am I going to score? How am I going to do this? Then it's time for you to think about how you're going to get the right roles to attack the spaces that have been left vacant. Now, if you're looking at this image here, I've got a player here. I've got all these players here. The whole idea here is we're packing this area of the pitch so that one of these two guys is going to get inside. My whole hope is this winger. In my 4-4-2, my winger is the guy that scores a lot of my goals. I mean, basically my winger scores when I play focus play down the flanks, right? And then when I play focus play to the middle, it's my target man and my poacher who are scoring most of the goals. So it kind of changes the dynamic of your tactics slightly. This is by far one of the best changes in the game, and I am thoroughly enjoying myself playing it. If you found this video useful, you know where to find me. You can find me in all the usual places, right? I'm on Twitter as well. I do stream on YouTube as often as I can, and I occasionally stream on Twitch on Sundays. There's been some fantastic support from the community in the last couple of months. Insane levels of support. I want to thank everybody for your support of the channel. The Discord is absolutely going crazy with all the stuff that you guys are doing. So you guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.